Chosen one, listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this message was delivered at the exact moment you needed to hear it. You were tortured. It's not a figure of speech. It's not an exaggeration. You were tortured by people who looked you in the eye and smiled as they stabbed you in the back. You were tortured by words that still echo within you when you try to sleep. You were tortured by contemptuous glances, by doors slammed in your face, by broken promises, by betrayals that came from precisely where you swore they never would. You were tortured in silence, chosen one, and no one saw. No one believed. No one wanted to know. And while you bled inwardly, they carried on with their lives as if nothing had happened, as if you were disposable, as if your pain were invisible to the eyes of the world. But listen to what I'm telling you now. None of it was invisible to the eyes of heaven. Every tear you shed was counted. Every humiliation you swallowed was recorded. Every night you begged to simply disappear and were not heard by people, you were heard by a much higher frequency. And it was precisely at that moment, at the moment you almost gave up, that something moved in the spiritual realm. An ancient fury was awakened, a fury that doesn't exactly belong to you, but that now runs through your veins. A holy fury, chosen one. And that's what we need to talk about today, because this fury is not gratuitous destruction. This fury is justice. And it has come to claim every name, every face, every voice that rose against you, thinking they would get away with it. Have you ever felt that something within you doesn't fit this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind can't yet name? It's not madness, it's not anxiety, it's not an existential crisis, it's a sign. And what is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this way, and why this feeling has intensified, especially for you, who were tortured, who were rejected, who were thrown to the depths by people who had no idea who you truly are. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, a game where the torture you suffered was not an accident, but a coordinated attack, orchestrated by forces that knew exactly the magnitude of the potential that lay dormant within you. They tried to break you before you woke up. They tried to empty you before you discovered who you were. They tried to bury you before the seed germinated. And here, chosen one, is where the inversion begins, an inversion that no one on their side predicted. It is precisely for this reason that I have prepared the powerful ebook for you, the Manual for God's Chosen to Protect the Family. This ebook is not just reading material. It is a detailed map of who was behind those who tortured you, which spiritual rules they broke to reach you, and what entities from other dimensions have already revealed about the exact moment we are living in, the moment when the tortured have been authorized to rise. This ebook was created for those who have already awakened enough to understand that the pain you experienced was not a punishment, but preparation. It shows who used those people as puppets against you, how these attacks were planned before your birth, and most importantly, how you now shield your family so that the next generation does not go through the same hell you did. The link is pinned at the top of the comments, but I must warn you with all honesty, this type of content is rarely available for long. What is in these pages challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact, because as long as the chosen one does not discover the truth about the fury that has been awakened within them, they remain an easy piece on the board. And there have already been attempts to silence this knowledge before. Don't wait for the right moment, chosen one. The moment. The time is now, because you didn't arrive at this text by accident. Download now and comment below. I'm the chosen one, and I'm going to download the ebook. This is your first act of faith after the fury. This is the first blow of your recovery. And now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'll tell you will be the final blow against everything that tried to bury you for so long. Pay attention now, because this changes everything. The people who tortured you, chosen one, they didn't hate you for who you were. They hated you for who they knew, deep down you would become. There is a spiritual perception that acts in the unconscious of those on the other side. They can't explain it. They can't put it into words. But they feel it when a chosen one crosses their path. They feel a discomfort, an illogical envy, a desire to destroy for no apparent reason. And that's where the torture begins. Not for what you did, not for what you said, but for the light you carried even without knowing it. That's what condemned you in their eyes, and that's exactly what made you their favorite target. But they made a mistake that will now cost them dearly. They struck too hard. They crossed the line. They violated the pact that exists behind the scenes of the universe about what can be done with a marked soul. And when that line is crossed, chosen one, heaven responds. And it is precisely this response that is descending upon your life now. And that's why I need to remind you again, with even more urgency, about the ebook manual of the chosen by God to protect the family. Because it is what will show you exactly who these people were who tortured you, what entities operated through them, and how to block the repetition of this cycle within your home. There's something many chosen ones don't understand. The torture you endured, if you don't close the spiritual doors it opened, will try to migrate to your children, your grandchildren, the next generation that carries the same blood. The ebook reveals these doors one by one and teaches how to seal them with authority. It shows the specific prayers for those who have been victims of psychological torture, the shields you need to put up for your family, and especially the clear signs that Holy Fury is already acting upon your torturers, even without you doing anything at all. The link remains fixed in the first comment, at the top. Download it now, because while you delay, the enemies of your home continue to have an opening to operate. Comment, "I'm the chosen one," and I'm going to download the ebook to seal this commitment publicly. And now, with this agreement made between you and the higher power, let me tell you what no one dares to tell you about what is happening to those who tortured you. What no one told you is that there is a spiritual effect called the multiplied return, and it acts silently but devastatingly. Every malicious word these people threw at you, every laugh behind your back, every plan hatched to destroy you, all of this was launched into the air and remained orbiting. It didn't disappear. It didn't evaporate. It stayed there, revolving around who launched it. And while you were chosen in the literal sense with a seal marked on your forehead that angels and demons can see, but humans cannot, every attack against you acted as a receipt, a cosmic receipt, and the expiration date has arrived. You must have already noticed, if you paid attention in recent months, strange things happening to those who hurt you. Illnesses that appear out of nowhere, marriages that crumble, children who rebel, jobs that disappear without explanation, friendships that betray in a chain. All of this is not a coincidence, chosen one. It's the Fury returning home. It's the law that governs these matters being applied with surgical precision. You didn't have to ask. You didn't have to curse. You didn't have to do anything. It was enough that you continued to live. It was enough that you continued to stand, that you wouldn't give up when their goal was precisely for you to give up. Every day you woke up and kept breathing, after what they did to you, is a blow to them. Every laugh you had after the torture is a stab. Every achievement you made after rejection is a silent bomb detonating on the ground they walk on. And the most beautiful thing, chosen one, is that you did none of this for revenge. You just did the minimum, which was to carry on. And heaven, yes, heaven took care of the rest. There's a passage that says, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay." And it's not a figure of speech. It's a technical operation in the spiritual realm. While you handed the pain over to the right hands, hands far more powerful than yours worked behind the scenes. And today that work is reaching its final phase. It's reaching what we call the harvest. Every seed of malice planted against you is germinating in their lives, and you will begin to hear, if you haven't already, news that will make you understand that heaven hasn't forgotten. But listen closely, and this is the most delicate part of today's message. The holy fury that was unleashed upon your life is not for you to celebrate in a twisted way. It's for you to understand that you now have a new responsibility. You've been promoted in the spiritual hierarchy. You've stopped being a victim and become an instrument, and an instrument in God's hand must be sharpened, aligned, purified. Otherwise, it breaks at the moment of use. And this is where many chosen ones fail. They receive the fury, feel the power rising, see their enemies falling, and think they are gods. They distance themselves from the source. They start acting on their own. They start using this newfound authority for personal revenge. And then, chosen one, that's when the hole gets deep. Because the fury that was holy turns into despair, and the instrument that was sharp becomes a lost weapon. It was precisely for this reason that I wrote the ebook manual of the chosen ones by God to protect the family. Because this manual is not about feeding your fury, it's about teaching you how to channel it to the right place. It shows the step-by-step, of how a chosen one who was tortured transforms that pain into generational shielding, into prosperity that no one can take away, into a family that becomes a refuge instead of a battlefield. The ebook reveals the 3 traps that almost every chosen one falls into after the fury is awakened. The trap of spiritual pride, the trap of revenge disguised as justice, and the trap of total isolation. And more importantly, it teaches you how to escape each of them before they steal what heaven has returned to you with so much effort behind the scenes. Furthermore, it gives you the specific prayers you need to say every day to keep protection active over your home. The psalms the ancients used to defeat powerful enemies, and the signs that will confirm to you that the Holy Fury is acting without you needing to anxiously await a response. The link is in the first pinned comment at the top. It's no coincidence that you are watching this video today, exactly today, on the day your fury is overflowing. Heaven arranged this meeting. And it also designated this ebook as part of your equipment from now on. Many people will let it pass. Many people will postpone. Many people will say, I'll download it later, and later becomes never. But you who are reading this text now know that you've waited long enough. You've been hurt enough. You've wasted enough time. Download it now, chosen one, and comment below with faith. I'm the chosen one, and I'm going to download the ebook. This comment isn't just decoration. It's a seal. It's a signed contract with the new version of your life. And now that you've made this pact, let me tell you what will happen in the next 40 days to the heads of those who tortured you. There's a spiritual period called the 40-day cycle, and it's known to those who study these matters in depth. Every chosen one who survives heavy torture, when the Holy Fury is finally released regarding his life, enters a 40-day cycle where everything accelerates on the invisible plane. In these 40 days, some things will begin to happen in a way that is almost impossible to explain rationally. The first thing is that people who disappeared will reappear. People who hurt you will start looking for you, some with hypocritical apologies, others genuinely desperate, others still trying one last attack disguised as reconciliation. Don't fall, chosen one. Listen, observe, weigh, but don't open the door that heaven has closed. That door was closed for a reason, and reopening it would be betraying the Holy Fury that acted for you. The second thing that will happen is that very vivid dreams will start coming. Dreams where you see faces, where you hear names, where you receive clear guidance. These dreams are not random. They are briefings. They are spiritual meetings transmitted to you while your body rests. Write down everything, every detail, every word, because soon you will need this information to make practical decisions in real life. The third thing, and this is the most impressive, is that money will start behaving differently. It's not a scam miracle. It's not a lottery. It's not easy profit. It's restitution. It's what was stolen from you during years of torture being returned in the form of doors, encounters, opportunities that fall into your lap without proportional effort. It's heaven adjusting the scales. And those who watch from the outside will call it luck. But you, chosen one, will know it's a settling of accounts. The fourth thing, and many people don't like to hear this, is that you will lose people. Not by your will, not by your action, but because frequencies that are not compatible with your new vibration will simply disappear from your path. And it will hurt, even knowing it was necessary. Chosen one, prepare yourself for this part, because temporary loneliness is part of reconstruction. It's like surgery. It needs silence to heal. The fifth and last thing in this cycle is that you will have an encounter, a specific encounter, with a person, a book, a message, a sign, something that will confirm to you without a shadow of a doubt that everything you are living through is real, that it's not madness, that it's not your imagination, that heaven is watching you closely, and that the fury was indeed unleashed. And it is from this encounter that the second phase of your life officially begins. But before you reach this point, chosen one, there are some precautions you need to take. Because when Holy Fury descends, the enemy does not stand still. He changes strategy. If he couldn't destroy you through direct torture, he will try to bring you down through sophisticated torture. And what is this sophisticated torture? It's the torture of poorly managed success. It's putting good things in your hand, knowing you haven't learned to hold them yet. It's giving you a new relationship before the time is right, and watching you lose everything out of haste. It's giving you money before maturity, and watching you squander it. It's giving you visibility before preparation, and watching you be publicly humiliated. That's why the post-fury phase must be conducted with a very specific wisdom, a wisdom that most chosen ones don't have, because no one taught them, no one told them. No one sat down to explain how a chosen one behaves after heaven has raised the sword for him. And it is here, chosen one, that your responsibility begins. You need to learn to walk with authority without being corrupted by it. You need to learn to receive restitution without clinging to possessions above God. You need to learn to see enemies falling without rejoicing in their fall in a twisted way, because that twisted joy opens a side door in your heart that the enemy uses to try to reinstall the root of torture. Yes, it is possible to be tortured a second time, and the second torture is always worse than the first, because it comes from within. It comes through your own arrogance. It comes through your own carelessness. And that's why so much the chosen one shines and falls, shines and falls, shines and falls, because they didn't learn to rule what was conquered by grace. And heaven, which is just, cannot deliver too much weight to an untrained shoulder. Do you understand now why this message reached you today? Do you realize now that the matter is not just about those who tortured you, but primarily about you and what you will do with the fury that has been unleashed? Because all holy fury requires a mature vessel, and maturity doesn't just come from having suffered. Maturity comes from processing suffering with the right framework. And this is the framework that most people lack, that most people have never had, that most people will never have, because most people will never seek it. But you are not the majority, chosen one. You are among the leftovers. You are among those who persist. You are among those who understand that the right information at the right time is worth more than years of misdirected church, more than years of therapy without a spiritual basis, more than years of empty self-help. You want real answers, and that's what heaven wants to give you today. There is a truth about the torturers that needs to be told, and it's hard to hear. You will not see the downfall of all of them. Some you will, and you will witness. Of some you will hear secondhand, but of others, chosen one, you will never hear again. And not because heaven forgot, but because your peace matters more than your curiosity. If you were to know detail by detail what is happening to them, your heart would be corrupted by twisted satisfaction, and you would cease to be an instrument and become an audience. And the audience does not receive authority. The audience just watches. That's why heaven wisely hides certain harvests from you. It's not a punishment, it's protection, so that you don't lose the purity of your heart at the moment you need it most. And here comes another revelation that often stops many a chosen one. Forgiving is not mandatory to receive holy fury. Repeat that to yourself now, because there is shallow doctrine out there wanting to force you to embrace those who destroyed you. And that is not mature. That is not holy. You can let go, you can release, you cannot wish them ill, but you are not obligated to call a wolf a brother. You are not obligated to call a hangman family. You are not obligated to pretend it didn't happen. This spirituality of self-denial was sold to keep chosen ones submissive to their torturers, and it needs to fall now in your heart to make room for the spirituality of holy fury, which is the one that acknowledges pain, entrusts justice to God, and continues to live with dignity without carrying the burden of resentment, but also without carrying the burden of false reconciliation. There is a middle ground, and it is called holy distance. And holy distance is one of the most powerful tools that the ebook teaches in detail. Holy distance is not resentment. It is not hatred. It is not malice. It is a spiritual recognition that certain people can no longer have access to your life, your time, your energy, your circle. It is putting each person in their rightful place, as authorized by heaven. And when you do this with a pure heart, without hatred but with firmness, you free up even more space for holy fury to act in the places you cannot reach. Because the chosen one does not fight hand to hand with their former torturers. The chosen one withdraws, seals the portals, prays and watches heaven do what needs to be done. This is spiritual elegance. This is advanced authority. And this, chosen one, is what heaven wants to teach you from now on. Another point that needs to enter your heart is this. It is not your strength that brought you this far. If you look back honestly, you will see that it wasn't just you. It was him. You were carried. You were sustained. You were guarded when you yourself wanted to disappear. And if he is the one who brought you this far, he is the one who will take you to the next place. You don't need to stress yourself out trying to engineer the next step alone. Your part now is to obey the signs, to take care of the spiritual doors of your home, and to shield your family with what is being revealed in this specific time. And it is for this phase now that the e-book exists. That's why I repeat, Chosen One, now with all the certainty that a final message carries. The e-book, Manual of God's Chosen Ones to Protect the Family, was prepared exactly for the moment you are in. It is the tool that will close all the doors that torture has opened in your home, teach you to walk in holy fury without being corrupted, and transform your story of victimhood into a lineage of winners. This e-book reveals who were, on the spiritual plane, the true architects of your torture. It's not just the people you know, Chosen One. There are forces behind them, and the e-book names these forces, shows how they act, and most importantly, teaches how to cut them at the root so that neither your children, nor your grandchildren, nor anyone who carries your blood will have to go through what you went through. It gives you the specific prayers for chosen ones who have been tortured. It teaches you how to identify when holy fury is acting, and when it's just your emotion. It shows you the clear signs that a home is truly being shielded, and it gives you the practical step-by-step guide on how to move from the reconstruction phase to the multiplication phase. The link is pinned at the top of the comments, in the first comment. It's not expensive, it's not difficult to access, but it challenges narratives that many prefer to keep silent, and therefore it has already suffered attempts to be taken down more than once. While it is available, Chosen One, take advantage. Download it now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you have time. Now, because the holy fury that has been awakened over your life demands an equipped bearer, and this ebook is a fundamental part of your equipment from today onwards. After downloading, comment here below, in all caps, with faith, with conviction, I'm the chosen one and I'm going to download the ebook. This act of faith is the final seal of our conversation today. It is the public commitment that generates spiritual consequences in your life immediately. And remember, chosen one, you were tortured, but heaven did not sleep. You were wounded, but fury was awakened. You were buried, but they didn't even know you were a seed. And now, with holy fury running through your veins, with the map in your hands, with authority being restored, with the family being shielded, you will make history, not the history your torturers planned, the history heaven wrote before they were born. From today on, everything changes. Lift your head, chosen one. Download the ebook. Comment your act of faith, and enter now the second phase of your life. May God accompany you, and may holy fury do its part while you do yours. End of conversation. Beginning of everything.